Okay. Okay, I'd like to call the special meeting to order. Can I have a roll call?
Mr. Antoine is here. Ms. Bonnick?
Here.
Mr. Connor?
Here.
Dr. Demas?
Here.
Ms. Eichhorst?
Here.
Ms. Rice?
Here.
Mr. Young?
Here.
All right, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Support.
Demas and Young. Any questions or concerns? For the audience, this is a special meeting just for one topic, and then it's for a board resolution to do the MISD biannual election, and then we're going to adjourn this meeting and start our regular meeting. So, with that, all in favor of the agenda, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion for Resolution 39.
Motion?
Support.
Moved and supported. So this is where the board has to decide who is going to go down and cast our ballot on June 5th. And Mr. Antoine is willing to do that on behalf of us. And who's the alternate? No.
Oh, no, who's going to be the alternate?
Do you want me to be the alternate? Or does someone else want to go on the 5th if Mike can't?
I can go.
Dr. Demas will be the alternate.
Okay.
So I just need a motion to approve Mr. Antoine as the person to go and our alternate as
Motion.
Dr. Demas.
Support.
Moved and supported. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Can I have a motion to adjourn the special meeting?
Motion.
Support.
Moved and supported. We got Demas and Eichhorst.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. I will call to order the regular Board of Education meeting, and if we can rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Motion.
Moved by Young, supported by Connor. Any questions or concerns on tonight's agenda?
Mrs. Bonnick, I would just share that number 7C, the informational update on 297 Prospect, there's not an update based on where we're at. There's no action tonight.
Hey, Dr. Robinson, your microphone's off.
I'm sorry, 7C, 297 Prospect RFP, that should be stricken from the agenda. There's no informational update based on, the outcomes since our facilities meeting.
It's under informational. Yeah.
There's no standalone update in regard to that, and there's no, as you know, there's no action on the agenda in regard to that.
All right. Any other changes to the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Turn it over to Dr. Robinson for celebrations.
So a couple celebrations from Amanda Moore to start our celebrations tonight. First of all, we want to congratulate and celebrate Amanda Moore on their green school status. They've achieved the highest level status, which is evergreen status, and see a picture there from the banquet at the ISD with Mr. Bennett and a couple of his parent reps and some of the county officials that were there. So we're happy that they've continued to pursue that and continued to raise their status over the last couple of years. We also have an exciting announcement tonight, and that's congratulating Sabrina Sarah. Her invention was chosen from a lot of fourth graders in the county from 9 different Macomb County districts who participated in the ISD's Little Inventor Go Green Challenge. So these 1,250 fourth graders, as a part of their school experience, got the opportunity to propose an invention that would help solve some issue. And at this point, there's a banquet at the ISD for the students and representative from their districts. But what's neater about this is Sabrina's invention will be brought to life by a professor and students from the Center of Creative Studies. So the students that were chosen, whether that's a corporation or a business within the community, or in this case, the Center of, for Creative Studies, they actually make their designs come to life and then display those. So, so we're excited. Congratulations to Sabrina. I know we had several unique designs from our fourth graders, and it's super cool to get this type of county level recognition based on one of our elementary students. Our HOSA students, this is Extension Health Occupation Student Association, right, Mr. Oswald? Just say yes, thank you. So we had a group of students. We know that many of our CTE pathways and courses have a corresponding student association that leads to some kind of competition based on the trade that they're studying. So our students competed at the Student Leadership Conference in Traverse City. They all did a phenomenal job. You see the group and our two teachers. They're on the top. And then you'll see PJ, Samantha, and Callie. I'm not going to attempt PJ's last name there. That one's a tough one, but they were in, two of them were in EMT.
I was like, our local Greek here
Oh,
will
yes.
tell us.
Okay.
Volopoulos.
Volopoulos, thank you, PJ, congratulations, and thank you, Dr. Demas. Samantha and Callie all finished top 8 in their events. And then we had a couple students place second place in the state for forensic sciences, and they are eligible to compete in the International Leadership Conference in Texas in June. And that's Olivia Luther and Anna Ferguson that you see in the bottom picture there. So congratulations to our HOSA students, and thank you to our teachers for supporting them, getting us some state level recognition, and you never know, maybe international. So it's a busy time of year, and there's no more important ceremony that we do as a school district than our commencement ceremony that's coming up in less than 2 weeks here. But at this time of year, we also like to recognize the class of, the graduating class top 10. And so this year's class of 2023 top 10 had the traditional top 10 breakfast, and I know several of our board members were able to attend and hear their comments on their high school journey and the special educator that they chose to recognize. We also like to afford the opportunity for them to just be recognized at a board meeting. This time of year, it's hard to corral seniors on their way out because they're just looking forward to being done. But they're also very busy in sports and other things at the end of the year. So the best laid plans would be to have all 10 here, but we have a great representative group of them. And Mr. Oswald, if you would come to the podium and help introduce them. Mrs. Bonnick, I have some certificates for those that are here. And then we'll just get a group photo of them. Seniors, please make sure you tell your top 10 colleagues what an awesome experience this was, and they should have never missed it compared to all the amazing things that are going to happen in the last 2 weeks to a couple weeks from now. Deal? All right.
All right, thank you, sir. Yeah, like you said, we've, you know, a very busy time of year for our students, and as you would imagine, our top 10 students are very involved in many things. So we do have 3 with us tonight. Zach Utz, if you could stand up. Zoe Atkins and Tyler Pressel. Congratulations, guys. Probably want to do handshakes.
Why don't you one at a time, Mr. Oswald, and I got a little data on them, so we'll share.
I got to
So-
be able to read that. I need glasses. Okay.
He
Seriously.
did say he needs his glasses, folks.
I don't have
so-
any yet. I need to buy some. All right, so this Zoe Atkins. Zoe, she is in our HHP Academy. She's got a GPA of 4.041, planning to attend Michigan State University, go green, and to study medicine or engineering. Zoe, you're in our medical pathway, correct?
Nice.
Yeah. So she has a very exciting future ahead of her. So congratulations to you, Zoe.
Congratulations, Zoe. Come on up.
One more
used to make fun of my dad for wearing glasses, and now it's coming back to me. All right, so Tyler Pressel. Tyler, GPA 4.048. And for those of you, you probably know this, but we have weighted grades. So pretty much they get straight A's, and then their AP classes, they get A's in those as well, which kind of gives them that extra boost. So extraordinarily difficult to have these type of grade point averages. So Tyler is in our DEM Academy. Tyler is going to Grand Valley next year to study mechanical engineering. That's going to be an incredible experience for him. Tyler, congratulations to you, sir.
Well done.
Come on up.
That's qualified for the state, right?
Yes.
Yep.
That's right. That's right.
Track and wrestling, I believe.
Oh, and wrestling.
Yeah, wrestler, right? He
You're
was
all
here.
around. Good job.
And a really nice guy. He really is.
So just for mention, Madison Clore couldn't be here tonight. She is in our top 10. Elena Nikolowski is also in our top 10. And now we're up to,
All right. Zach Utz, also part of our DEM Academy. Zach, GPA 4.056, attending Michigan Tech next year, studying civil engineering. I hope you love the outdoors. There's a lot of good stuff to do up there. All right, Zach, congratulations
come
to
on
you,
up,
sir.
Zach.
I hope you like snow.
So give us 1 second and we'll get that picture. Avery Coe in our top 10. Cody Hunt. Olivia
Caco?
Cacco. Aubrey
Yeah,
McDonald.
salutatorian Aubrey. Yep.
And Danielle Culkin, who is this year's valedictorian.
Yes, sir.
So congratulations. Mrs. McFarland, will you be the?
Mr. Oswald, you're gonna get it too?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Hold on, we got the parents behind you.
Do you want, did you get one that you wanted? Okay.
Now, guys, we have this row of handshakes, so if you go down the table, the board members will
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Wonderful. Well done. Well done. Medicine, all the way. Well done. Yeah. Nervous.
And that is our celebrations for tonight, and we have no presentations this evening, so move on to consent.
All right, can I have a motion for consent action, which is our general fund bills, our approval of our financial reports, approval of the wire transfer, purchasing card expenditures, minutes from our regular meeting on May 1, the approval of the 23-24 MISD budget, and approval of the update to Board Policy 6008. That is a
Motion.
first reading. Second. So it's moved by Young and supported by Ikorst. Questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to informational updates, communications.
I have none.
All right. And committee reports. Finance, we were together for finance and facilities. And then policy was the policy that's up here at 6008. I don't know, Catherine, do you want to give any other report?
No.
All right. Anything you want to add, Dr. Robinson, to committees?
I think,
Or do
you
you
know,
want
I-
us to summarize?
yes,
For
it
the
would be
audience.
great. I mean, specifically to the policy, you know, there was only one policy revision, and we reviewed 2 administrative regulations, which, you know, we just review those with the board. They're not anything the board has to vote on, and those, you know, align. And in this case, as we discussed in the policy meeting, 6008 is on employees claiming mileage.
The
And
mileage.
we're actually updating the policy to match our practice.
Correct.
So this is the first consideration of that.
Do you want to move on to superintendent's report?
I guess before we click off, 2 upcoming committee meetings. Tuesday, May 30th is curriculum, and Monday, June 5th is finance. So just to include a note in my superintendent's report, we converted our finance subcommittee meeting to a committee of the whole, which all 7 board members attended. That was on Monday, May 8th, and had an extensive conversation in regard to the proposals. We had our legal counsel, Dana Abrams, and our consultant, Bill Bowen, from Great Northern Consulting. We also spoke, about other matters of the Finance Committee, but spent a big chunk of time around the prospect. And then we actually followed up and created our facility subcommittee meeting last Thursday to a committee of the whole, and had the board in attendance, and took public comment from the citizens group, Mr. Corey's group, and shared the information that was discussed at the Finance Committee in that regard. As I shared with the board, our negotiations on a contract with SDC, our lead consultant, have not followed through. And so there's no action at this time because we don't have a contract to present to the board. And we have some conversation to have before we can move forward in that regard. Construction update from our facilities meeting. We have a few summer project resolutions on the agenda tonight, and then Mr. Murray and myself updated on the elementary and Croswell furniture resolutions, and then our 1-year ABM contract extension for custodial services. So I'll start with just the summer construction project resolutions. I have Mr. Bollinger here and Mr. Tolis and Mr. Storm, and they'd be happy to come to the podium if there's any questions in regards to those that the board has. I know we had pretty thorough discussion at the facilities meeting. Any questions on those? Okay. Mr. Murray and myself are here. We've got our special ed classrooms and our Young 5 classrooms, so the next phase of our elementary furniture proposal. Any questions in regard to that? And then, of course, the first phase of our Croswell furniture for the 300 hallway to be updated in August for the first phase of the construction. Any questions on that? Okay. So I would just note, just because we're in the public forum, that we have 2 phases to elementary classroom replacement. This summer, our buildings that aren't under renovation are getting their furniture. So Amanda Moore, Washington, and Hevel will get their furniture updates. And then next summer, when those buildings have construction going on, and Hamilton Parsons and Indian Hills construction is complete, the summer of '24, they will get their furniture. So a lot of logistics and trying to do that around completing construction is just not in our best interest. So we've kind of split that across 2 summers. Croswell will get some initial classroom furniture updates this August for the portion of the building that will be renovated this summer. And then mid-year next year, when the new addition is completed and another portion of the building is done, they'll get furniture. We will bring that to the board for approval in the fall. And then the final chunk will be the early childhood special ed classroom wing, and any remaining parts of the building would be approved this time next year for an August installation. So there we are with that. We had a 3-year agreement that the board approved with our custodial services company with the opportunity for 2 1-year extensions, and we bring to the board tonight just the first of 1-year extensions for next year. Any questions in regard to anything about that? Okay, on the agenda tonight also is, at the Finance Committee meeting, we had Mr. Nelson presented the upgrade to the high school computer graphics lab. It's time for those computers to be upgraded, so we have the resolution tonight to replace those computers out of the 2021 technology bond funds. And then finally, for safety, last summer, the board approved us using a visitor management system at the middle school, the ninth grade academy, and the high school. That original system we've used this year, Keep and Track, has served us well, but as we've gone through over the last couple months and audited just the reports and the information that we can pull from that, and the ability to have that system connect to our student information system, PowerSchool, there's just limitations, and that vendor told us they were working towards being able to coordinate, but it is not coming through. So we've worked with our Safe Ed personnel who use the system every day and Mr. Nelson, and we've decided to switch vendors, same cost arrangement, and we're reusing some of the equipment from the original purchase. And so we just now have installed the Raptor visitor management system at the middle school. Our lead person from Safe Ed, who's really kind of taken on the reports and all of that. So they're working with it. We'll get it integrated here and at the 10-12 building for the start of school. And then I would anticipate us having a conversation about whether the district wants to bring that down to the elementary buildings. But the biggest thing that we'll move forward on with Raptor is if we can integrate this with our student management system, then we'd have the ability also to have kids sign in to school when they're late and sign out through this system, and it would immediately talk to PowerSchool, which would kind of reduce some manpower hours on auditing attendance. So we have that conversion underway with Raptor. Mr. Murray, Mrs. McFarland, you want to come on up and give us our academic services report?
Thank you. Good evening. Just a few updates from the elementary level. The first is around CKLA. We've wasted no time since it's been approved for us to adopt a new ELA curricular resource. Our leaders within the district, building principals, literacy specialists, Jennifer and myself, have undergone their leadership training. That was kind of at the, beginning, May 10th, I think. And so found it to be productive and set the stage for us to better understand what will be happening in classrooms. Our PO is done, which means that we are in a spot where we've agreed on the materials that we need, have given numbers for next year, and are hoping to take delivery by all of our resources by June 30th. I'm told it comes on one big semi. We're thankful that it'll be delivered to all of our buildings individually, meaning it'll make 5 stops, but it'll be quite an undertaking even to just unpack and sort everything that's there. So lots of excitement around CKLA. At the end of April, we had a visit from some of our friends at L&L Products. Those of you who've been on the board for a little bit know that L&L has played a pivotal role in supporting our STEM initiative at the elementary level. And so really through a series of grants. And so they wanted to see how their money was being spent. And so we were able to visit Amanda Moore Elementary and Hevel Elementary, where they could see students working with make-dos, which are little cardboarding screws that students can use to put cardboard together to make projects. And then there was a demolition derby of sorts at Hevel using Spheros. And so the Spheros actually had a cup on, like a solo cup on top, and the kids were ramming them into each other to see who could knock the cup over. Needless to say, our friends from L&L walked away thoroughly impressed with the work that we're doing. And so I felt great about that. It's only really year 1 for us, a full implementation. So we're looking forward to, the years coming forward and some of the joy and learning that we can bring to our elementary students. Our summer programming planning at the elementary level is in full swing. I checked today and we have about 215 students who are signed up for summer school at the elementary level. One of the things that we noticed last year is we do get a high number of people who sign up to come, and then the trick and key is to keeping them wanting to come as summer hits. And so we'll be working on messaging and ensuring that we communicate that transportation can be provided along with snacks, and then just kind of working on room assignments. So the nuts and bolts logistics of planning is what we're looking at right now. And then the final piece tonight is related to some of the hires that we need to make at the elementary level. We have 7 open positions, and our second round interviews will occur this week, a full day on Wednesday and a portion of Thursday. We have 9 candidates who we will look at this week, and then hopefully pare down and invite some back to teach a classroom lesson and get the best candidates. So thank you.
Good afternoon or evening. So summer programs, some updates as far as some of the upper L and middle school programs we have running. We do have a Girls in STEM program that is a 4-day program. It starts June 19th. These are for current girls in 5th grade. We have a few spots left. So if anyone's listening and is interested, reach out. This year, we're going to offer an advanced Girls in STEM. That's in July. I believe it's July 10th. Yes, the week of July 10th. It is also 4 days, and these are current girls in 7th and 8th grade. And we are going to have them in our construction class. They'll go to our engineering and design class, our machining classroom, and our robotics classroom. So we have lots of room for girls to get a feel for our STEM programs that we offer at the high school. We also have middle school math mindset. These are for kids that are currently in 5th and 6th grade. We have room, so if you are a parent of a 5th or 6th grader and you are looking for some more math, it is not a fill of what they haven't learned. It really is creating a mindset for being willing to take risks in math and solve things in different ways. It's a pretty cool program. We've run it for at least 10 years. And the kids walk away feeling like I can do this, is really what the intent of that program is. Our middle school readers and writers is full. We have 18 kids willing to read over the summer. I'm excited about that. And we have some teacher cadets. So these are high school students, 9th, 10th, and 11th grade, who will be supporting some of those classrooms that Mr. Murray talked about in elementary. Piggybacking a little bit about the interviews and where we're at, the high school has made great progress on interviewing for their vacancies at the high school. And Wednesday, we will begin round 1 for the 3rd assistant principal that the board had approved earlier in an earlier meeting. Tomorrow I meet with our 6th through 12th grade ELA representatives to begin our curriculum work. So we had talked about it in one of our subject area meetings, and they heard about Amplify CKLA, and they said, when are we going to go? So I've got a little group of them tomorrow. We're going to review some things, and then we'll really hit the ground running in the fall to look at resources that we may want to look at and pilot. This would be for the following school year adoption, so 24, 25, right? Oof. And we've had a long-standing grading committee for grades 6 through 12. We had a meeting earlier in April, and we are meeting again on Wednesday to just revisit some of the grading standards that had been set. We are learning that kids are gaming the system, for lack of a better word, and we just want some clarity for our teachers as they begin the fall, and our students and parents. So we will be sending something out, hopefully, to teachers before they leave in June about what they will look like in the fall, the grading standards, and then students and parents will get that in Bulldog Days in August. And that's all I have.
Questions for academic services?
So where do you find the enrollment for the summer programs?
It's invite only, so you get those
Oh.
links from teachers or our department. So if someone is interested, they can reach out to their classroom teacher, or they can reach out to academic services.
Other questions? All right. So we had some conversation at the finance subcommittee meeting just about the procedures and practices and what typically happens in our work towards our budget hearing in June, and also reflected on kind of the information we're getting from Lansing in terms of now we have the executive, House, and Senate school aid budget proposals, voted out from the floor. So one of the next events that we had talked back at the Finance Committee meeting about was the Spring Revenue Estimating Conference, and that took place last Friday. So the reports are out for that through the state associations, and I got with Vicky and kind of just wanted to give some high-level things, because this kind of sets the course not only for the legislature to finish the budget, you know, by preferably June 30th for school districts, for next year, but also kind of the year beyond. They look beyond just the immediate. So in terms of the school aid fund balance, that would carry over about $2.2 billion for fiscal year '24. So in the reports that have come out from the conference, that pretty much covers the priorities that have come out of the three different budgets, and that will set the course for them to continue negotiations, and we anticipate hopefully hearing something by mid-June, but definitely by June 30th. So the future years show modest growth in the school aid fund, which is encouraging news as well, as things kind of change in the economic climate in the state of Michigan. That definitely should concern us, but I think it's safe to say, where's Vicky, that we think our assumptions are on track, and hopefully we'll get the information that we need prior to, we'll have a finance committee meeting at the beginning. We'll spend some time on the preliminary budget and the final budget at our June study session, and then on June 26th, we'll have the budget hearing and present to the board the final budget for this year and the preliminary budget for next year. When it comes to the general fund, the reports, that certainly has been impacted, but it's impacted specifically by some of the tax cuts that have been approved since the first of the year. So in terms of this coming year, that kind of was predicted when the legislation was passed. That could have a little bit more significant impact based on how long some of these that are temporary continue in terms of the state's general fund budget. So that's our finance update. Any questions on that you might have? All right. You know, furthering our conversation to some action tonight around the elementary redistricting proposal. We've talked a lot about the metrics and the strategic effort. And I wanted to give the opportunity for Dana Hepner, our principal at Washington Elementary, to address the board tonight. We had a conversation prior to our last meeting about Dana coming to speak, and I asked her if she wouldn't wait until tonight's meeting, just because we still had a lot of information to present last time. So Dana, if you want to come on up to the podium, and the red light's on, so
red light
the
is
floor is
on.
yours.
Is this in the right spot? All right. Good evening. I'm Dana Hepner, and I'm extremely proud to be the principal at Washington Elementary. I began working for Romeo Community Schools in 1997. I've had the pleasure of teaching at Amanda Moore, Hamilton Parsons, and my final years in the classroom were spent at Washington Elementary. I then spent 4 years in the Academic Services Department as the district's elementary math coach, where I worked collaboratively with teachers across all 5 of our elementary buildings. 5 years ago, I was honored to be named the principal at Washington. Dr. Robinson and I have been discussing concerns with declining enrollment at Washington for a few years now. Earlier this year, my colleagues, Mr. Bennett, Mr. Essien, and I began working with Dr. Robinson and Mr. Murray, on creating an intentional plan to balance enrollment across our elementary buildings. At the March workshop meeting, we had a discussion with the board regarding the need to shift a small population of students between our 3 schools in an effort to level enrollment. We shared that at the rate things were going with housing with our current boundaries, all 3 of our buildings will experience challenges to offer equal opportunities to all students in our community of elementary schools. We spoke to you from a place of desiring that each and every student have equal access to the services, opportunities, and educational programming that each of them not only needs, but also deserves. Although the enrollment challenges at each school are different, the intent and desire has been a collaborative effort for the good of all 3 of our schools. The redistricting plan presented for approval tonight allows Washington Elementary to gain just over 50 students and welcome almost as many new families to our school. And my staff and I are very excited about this opportunity. Over the past couple of months, as the plan has been rolled out, the focus of the reasons why this redistricting is so important to all three of our schools has shifted to a tone that does not exemplify the essence of what makes Romeo Community Schools a true community. Those who know me well know that I have a saying about Washington Elementary that started 12 years ago after I completed my first year as a teacher in the building. I believe that Washington Elementary is the best kept secret in the district. I've never spoken publicly about my reasons for saying this, but after all my staff and my families have endured over the past several weeks, I find it important to address the board. We know of the phone conversations, the emails, the public comments at the meetings, and the social media activity that has been shared about our school. With all due respect, I would like to share what I have known about Washington for over a decade. Each day, I arrive at Washington to a building of educators who are second to none. They come into school each day with a passion for teaching and a love of their students that is beyond admirable. They believe that each and every child in our building belongs in our caring school community, and that each of them is not only capable of, but deserving of greatness, regardless of the home that they come to us from. They welcome each child into their classroom, accepting them for who they are without judgment. They use their professional knowledge and passion to meet each student where they are and focus on and succeed at moving each child forward in their educational journey. They encourage, challenge, advocate for, love, support, and celebrate our students. They don't get the recognition they deserve, nor do they desire it, as that is not why they are teachers. Washington is a school of diversity. While this may threaten some, we believe it is one of our greatest assets. Our school represents the world as it actually exists, and our students learn at a young age that our differences make the world a more exciting place to explore and understand. Our Washington students are active and engaged learners, just as all the students in our community are. They ask questions, they seek answers, they work hard, they play, they cooperate, they laugh, they cry when they are sad, and they deserve the same opportunities and respect as all the students in our district. Our Washington parents represent a range of backgrounds and experiences. They give their children all that they can and partner with us to support their child's education. They kiss their children goodbye in the morning and wish them a good day, and have the same expectations of our school as any parent in this district. Our parents communicate with their child's teachers. They attend school events, participate in parent-teacher conferences, read and play with their children, celebrate their children's growth, and work to make ends meet so they can provide for their children and give them the best. Washington parents are deeply committed to our caring school community and are an asset to Romeo Community Schools and our community as a whole. What I have outlined about Washington is true at all of our elementary buildings, as we are a strong and connected team of elementary schools. Yet somehow through this redistricting process, Washington has been painted as less. We've heard we're even worse. There is no place in our community for anyone to be considered less than another. All of our students deserve to attend a building where enrollment allows each school to be equipped to offer an opportunity to each and every child, to have a school where staff remains consistent so that continuous improvement has the best chance of success. Not only am I an educator, I am also a parent. I recognize and respect the worries that parents have around change for their children. Frankly, it should be noted that children are so much more resilient than adults, and we can learn so much from their young wisdom and their innocence. They can teach us about taking on change with optimism and positivity rather than focusing on rumor, uninformed judgment, and fear. Our Washington staff is eager to welcome, love, and educate all the children that enter the doors of our caring school community. In anticipation of your support tonight, my staff is hopeful to be able to welcome these new students and their families. Our staff, by their own accord, has already begun their list of plans to make each of our new families feel welcome so that being new doesn't last very long. Our Washington community no longer wants to be a secret. We want to be sure everyone in our community knows that Washington is a safe and nurturing educational place. We understand that as a board, you are more often than not put in the position to make a decision that will be unpopular with someone. As an elementary team, we ask that you view this decision through the lens it has always intended to be viewed through. This redistricting never has been about divide. It's been based on the idea that as a school community, we must work together to stabilize our enrollment in order to provide students at all our elementary schools equal opportunities to learn, grow, and develop. As the principal, very proud principal of Washington Elementary, I am committed to a smooth transition, as is my staff. I appreciate your time and consideration. Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to public comment. This public comment section is for things that we're voting on. So first, we have Kelly Swanson.
Good evening, Romeo Board and community members. I'm Kelly Swanson, a proud parent of a 9th grader in this building and a 4th grader at Washington Elementary. I have been teaching chemistry for over 20 years in a neighboring district. I know the importance of a good education. Like many people, I Googled Washington Elementary to see how the school was ranked in comparison to other schools when I bought my house almost 20 years ago. Romeo as a whole didn't have the highest ratings, but I fell in love with the house and the area and figured since I didn't have any kids at the time, I could always move or do school of choice when the time arrived. Now I move ahead almost 20 years, and sending my children to Washington Elementary was one of the best decisions I've ever made. You will not find a better principal or staff at any elementary school. I tell my friends that Washington Elementary is the hidden gem of Romeo Community Schools. The class sizes are small, the teachers are phenomenal, the students are kind and caring, and the families are supportive. I love this school so much, I decided to be part of the PTO and try to give back to this second family to my children. It breaks my heart when I read disparaging comments about the families and staffs of Washington. To judge a school based on the proficiency of one test is a shame and very narrow-minded. In the end, doesn't it matter how your child did? Not the school as a whole. I can tell you from personal experience, my daughter's thriving at the 9th grade academy. She's in honors classes, band, cheerleading, science olympiad, and served to name a few, all while maintaining A's. Washington Elementary prepared her to take on leadership roles and learn how to work with all types of students. The joy of Romeo Schools is that everyone is together in one community starting in 6th grade until they graduate. Redistricting doesn't break friendships that were already established or tear kids away from their friends. This is an opportunity to grow your friend base. So many fun memories are made at school. Each school has their own strengths. One of the biggest strengths of Washington is the family feel and lack of drama. We host fun nights where kids can be kids and just play on the playground with their friends. In conclusion, I hope the board approves the redistricting so that more families will get to experience all the benefits that Washington Elementary offers. I understand that change is hard and that this is an emotional issue. It's emotional for me as well when I see members of my community saying ignorant and inaccurate statements about my child's school. It isn't fair that some buildings are expected to have more students because of parents have heard or seen online. I hope the board appreciates the staff, not only at Washington Elementary, but all of the elementaries, and keeps the numbers equitable. Every child deserves this. Please remember, this is Romeo Community Schools, and we have to do what's best for the community, not just a few upset families. Thank you for your time.
Next, I have Emily. I'll let you say your last name.
Hello, Romeo Board and community members. I am here today to show my support of Washington Elementary School and all its staff and students. My husband and I have had children attending Washington since 2015. We have witnessed many improvements and changes in the school, such as improvements to the counseling and mental health support, extracurricular programs, as well as new teachers and a principal over the years. Before enrolling my now middle school child in kindergarten, I had heard some rumors about the school and was apprehensive. However, today I do not for a second regret our decision. It was at the first few years were different than now. Ms. Hepner came on in 2018, and she brought so many great changes to the school in support of the PTO and the programs that they were trying to do to bring together the community. It's been great. The principal, she's an outstanding leader. She makes supporting all her students her #1 priority, and the families as well in the community. Over the last 8 years, we have had some amazing teachers who truly have a passion for teaching, and they love seeing their students succeed. 2 of my children have had literacy struggles over the years in elementary school, and their teachers have gone above and beyond to work with our family and support and help our kids to succeed and come up to the grade level where they should be at. I have seen some of the comments, I have heard things, and it breaks my heart as well. I don't want any of our children to see that stuff coming from their peers or their peers' families. I know that it's scary to have change. I know when I heard rumors before my oldest, who's in middle school now, was starting kindergarten about the building or the administration or the staff there, and I was like, what should we do? Should we try to get to a different school? I'm really glad I didn't. I will say that every time I've been nervous about an unknown or a change, it has turned out to surprise me for the positive. We've had some teachers who were brand new teachers, and I was like, oh, this could be, a really bad year because they're new and they're going to get eaten alive by these students. And they were some of the best teachers my kids have ever had. So I just would want to encourage other families who are scared and nervous that it is scary, and I totally understand that. I feel for that, I do, but it is good also, and it's best for all of our students in the community to have equal opportunities. They all come together in the middle school, and I don't know if it was just luck of the draw or what, but he's in 7th grade now. My 7th grader, when he started 6th grade, he had like one kid from Washington in all of his classes, and everybody else was new and unfamiliar to him. So at the very least, I can say that the redistricting will allow these students to know more kids their age. So when they go to middle school, it won't be so scary and big where you're being put into this huge group with 5 times the kids you're used to being with and not know nearly as many. So I will just say that I am in support of all the students in our community having equal chances and equal resources and opportunities across all the elementary schools. So I thank you, and that's all.
Thank you. have Tiffany Godwin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tiffany Godwin, and I'm here to speak on the redistricting and the hurtful comments that have been made and directed towards our school due to skepticism. I am a paraprofessional at Washington Elementary. My husband is a CFO, and all three of my children have attended Washington. My youngest two are currently still students in the building. Prior to joining the amazing staff at Washington, I was a dental assistant and an office coordinator at a local dentist office. I'm not sure what you've heard about us or when you heard it. I know old rumors die hard, but I can tell you from personal experience that Washington Elementary is by far the most underrated school in our district. If people gave it half a chance, if they came to see what Washington was really about, what we represent, how incredible the staff is, everyone would be fighting to come to our building. When we moved to Washington, which was a calculated decision to get into the Romeo district, the students and staff warmly welcomed my oldest son and our family. When my middle child was nervous to be at school for an entire day, 5 days a week, the staff opened their arms and took him in under their wing to help him get through those days. And he would come home smiling and so happy, telling me all the wonderful things he learned and all the new friends he made. Finally, when my youngest came to Washington, she was greeted with more warm smiles and fun stories of her brother's days there. My children have always felt safe, seen, and cared for by the teachers and staff. In fact, as I previously stated, I've been so moved and so inspired by the staff at Washington Elementary that I left my career to come work with them, and it was the best decision I've ever made. I'm so nervous, sorry. Having the privilege to work with these amazing people and have an impact on the sweet, diverse group of children who attend has been such a joy for me. I guarantee you that every person in that building is dedicated to the well-being and education of these kids. They are highly qualified professionals that care deeply about the children who attend their school and the many ways that we impact their lives. There is no other group of educators that I would place the hearts and minds of my own children into for 7 hours a day. The staff at Washington Elementary has my full trust, my faith, and my loyalty. I understand redistricting can be emotional. It has its challenges, and I understand that can be nerve-wracking for many people. I also understand that change is necessary to keep our building and our students' numbers equal. So for anyone out there who has any doubts, I challenge you to give us an honest chance with no prior opinions or influences and tell me that you don't love us. Come see about Washington Elementary and let us wow you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Stephen Book. If I didn't say your last name right, it's because your handwriting. Just kidding. You must not have gone to Washington.
That's true. I'm a teacher, not a doctor, but I think it's equal bad handwriting all around.
But is it Book?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, good.
Dr. Robertson, members of the board, my name is Stephen Book, and as an AP US Government and Politics teacher in a neighboring district, thank you for granting us, the citizens, a safe and public forum to have civil discourse tonight, something that I have not seen modeled very well for my own students in this neighboring district. If Washington Elementary is the best kept secret in this district, I don't want it to be a secret any longer. I'm here today to show public support for the incredible experiences that my family and I have had at Washington Elementary. As a staff member at a nearby school district, my wife is also a teacher, we had the opportunity to send our babies through our home district. However, after touring Washington, meeting Mrs. Hebner, the principal, and the incredible staff at Washington, we canceled our meetings with our home district, and we were absolutely blown away by what we saw. Washington is special. Its staff is special, and I'd love to see this magic continue for all future generations of Washington residents. Redistricting keeps school sizes and class sizes equitable for all grades and between all of the elementary schools. And to keep the amazing staff at Washington Elementary intact and growing, as opposed to shrinking or moving, I would love to see whatever needs to be done, done. Please join us in supporting this initiative, and thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you. I think that is all we had. Someone just turned one in. Amy, is that on redistricting? Okay, then you'll be at the next section. Pardon? What is your name? Did I not call Tiffany? I'm so sorry, Tiffany is here. Because we heard from Tiffany Godwin, right? Okay. Oh, and Alana is next after Tiffany. We heard, oh God, I didn't hear from Jessica either. Okay, and Jessica.
Good evening, board.
Jessica.
My name is Tiffany Smith, and I have 2 kids in Romeo School District. At first, I did not want to move north. Never went past Hall Road. My husband went to Washington, and he graduated from Romeo High School, and he fought for it. So, of course, we ended up here. And I have a 7th grader in Romeo Middle School and a 4th grader at Washington. 3 years ago, I started doing the lunch monitoring at the school, and I know I love being part of the staff, even though it's for a couple hours. I know I can go in there, put a smile on my face. Last year, I started doing the crossing guard at 27 Mile, which I know is a little hectic there. But I know I have 4 kids that I cross, and I know every morning I can protect them as my own. And I know every person at the staff at Romeo treats every kid like their own. And they're not even teachers, they're a family. Sorry. My oldest is autistic, and I know Mrs. Hepner and every special education person at that staff helped me get him through that school, not even at home, but challenged him to where he, at the middle school. And I was very blessed to have them at where I was, because as a mom with special needs, sometimes it's hard to get through. So I personally, it's personal when I hear stuff that is negative, because I know they have such as great teachers there that take there's every smile every morning. And I mean, I'm going way off my sheet here. And I'm a proud staff member. I'm a parent of PTO. I think I spend more time there than I think the teachers sometimes, I feel. Because Mrs. Hepner knows I'm there early in the morning, and I'm doing bagel day. I love seeing every smile on the kids. And I know the PTO, we put on such great events for these kids, because we don't want them to pay for it, because we know when they come to school, we just want them to smile, have friends, and we do a lot of outside events so they can make friends outside of school. Sometimes they don't get out of their classrooms. And we do Fall Fest, Spring Fling. Breakfast with Buddies, I think, is the next Thursday, and I thought we were going to have only like 200. We have 350 to 400 people coming. So we have just amazing staff, and Mrs. Hepner could not be a better principal. She knows every kid's name. I've seen her say hi to every student with their full name. And we just couldn't be blessed more than with these teachers and staff. And even when my kid goes to middle school, because next year's our last year, I think I want to stay on just to even do the lunch aid and crossing, because it's almost a magical school. So, and I hope we welcome any students and families that come. We will put a smile on our face, and we welcome them just like our own. And I know I will next year. When I do see them in their lunchroom, I will do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Alana?
Good evening. My name is Elena Phillips, and I'm speaking to you today under many hats, actually. I am a Hevel parent, I'm a Washington staff member, and I'm a future Washington parent. Both of my children have had the privilege of having Hellville as their elementary school. My son Aiden spent kindergarten through 5th grade there, and my 1st grade daughter Sadie has been there since preschool. Hevel has been a wonderful school for my children, and the staff has been diligent in making sure that they receive a proper education. Having taken care of both of my children over the years, many staff members still make it a point to check in on my middle schooler. Both of my children made great friendships there. Before it was my children's home away from home, it was the birthplace of my own teaching, having student taught there back in 2005. There was a time that my in-laws' names were synonymous with Hevel Elementary. I tell you this so that you understand that the decision to move my daughter out of Hevel and into Washington next year was not done lightly. My husband and I deliberated for months over whether or not we should make the switch. Of course, some will say that it's merely out of convenience, but if you have a child, you know nothing is done out of convenience. Any decisions that you make cause life to run a little smoother, that's just a bonus. First and foremost, everything we do as parents is in the best interest of our children. So let me speak to you as someone with a bit of a unique perspective. I'm not only a teacher at Washington Elementary, I have had the honor of knowing and teaching all of the students at Washington. I'm going to repeat that since it really truly is worth saying. I have the honor of teaching all of the students at Washington. These kids, I just can't speak highly enough of them. I have only been back at Washington, I should say, for 2 years. And those of you that know me here, my background here at Romeo Community Schools, you know that I've had multiple teaching scenarios. I'm telling you, in the past 2 years at Washington, I have been more impressed with this group of young people than I can ever remember being. They have such a sense of community and respect for each other, and I watch them interact. I can see them learn from each other constantly, not just in regards to their curriculum, but in so much more than that. They're building relationships, they're including each other in their world, both inside of the school setting and what's happening to outside the building as well. We learn pieces of each other's lives and cultures, and it's incredible. And yes, I said we. I learn from them just as much as they learn from myself. So I say to them, obrigado. That's thank you in Portuguese. I just learned that from one of my 2nd graders. These students are so much more than a number or a test score. They're kind, respectful, hardworking, determined young people. I'm genuinely excited to have my daughter be counted amongst them next year, and I'm counting myself as deeply blessed to have her involved in yet another tremendous staff. Yes, I get to lurk along each one of them as well. In a single interaction with any one of them, I know how the students got to be this tight-knit that exemplifies a strong sense of community. I'm looking forward to bringing new faces into our Washington family, and I'm looking forward to having my own family counted amongst those families. And I get it, change is hard. It's harder for us adults most of the time, unfortunately, and change can be scary. I've had a bit longer to process my child's move from Hevel to Washington, and I get it. We made that decision, and other families are having that decision made for them, and that's not easy. There have been many times that I myself have been moved around the districts, and sometimes I made those choices, but most of the time I didn't. But I can honestly say with insight and complete transparency that transition can be positive and wonderful. And who knows, it can be one of the best experiences that we have if we can keep ourselves open to it. I know that moving from Hevel to Washington is an experience that I can't wait for my daughter to have, and she can't wait either. Thank you.
All right, Lou? And I just want to make sure, Jessica left, right? There was a Jessica that wanted to speak? Okay.
Hello, Board. Good evening. Okay.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh,
I was just starting the timer.
No, you're good. I'm positive, don't I promise, Ms. Bonnick. I'm part of the redistricting. As I said last week, I have no issues going to Washington. All Romeo community schools are phenomenal schools. That's why my kids go here. I went here. I'm a product of Amanda Moore, sorry. But I just, on behalf of the people or the parents that are moving over, I want to apologize to Ms. Hefner. I haven't seen the comments, but I'm obviously they're out there. I apologize on behalf of those. From the Kirkway community, there's only 21 homes in there. I know it's none of us. We only have five kids involved. we're all good with going. I would say to all the parents, give Miss Hefner a chance, give the school a chance. We'll get there. It is hard after 9 years at Hevel. You gain relationships, but there's always new ones to be had. So I'm going to leave it at that. I won't even take all my 3 minutes tonight, Ms. Bennett. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to our regular meeting action items. The first one is Resolution 30, which is the new teacher evaluation provider. Just a reminder, this is approved by the Department of Education, Michigan Department of Education, and as a board, we do have to have a one on approved. Can I have a motion? Moved by Dr. Timus, supported. Got that, okay. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Employee Services Resolution 40, Personnel Update. That was in your board packet. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Support.
Moved by Connor, supported by Dr. Demas. Questions? Comments? Concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The next one is Technology Resolution 41, RHS Computer Graphics.
Motion.
Support.
Moved and supported by Mr. Young. Questions or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm going to abstain on that one, so that would be
Okay.
6.
6.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm abstaining just because I have connections with REMC. Next is the Business Services Resolution 42, Transportation Fees for 23-24.
Motion.
Moved by Young, supported by Connor. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next one is Facilities Resolution 43, which is the ABM contract extension.
Motion.
Moved by Young,
Support.
supported by Connor. Any questions or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next one is Resolution 44, which is the summer abatement proposal.
So moved. Support.
Moved by Demas, supported by Connor. Any questions? Concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next one is Facility Resolution 45, which is the Operations Equipment Purchase Approval.
Motion.
Support.
Moved by Young, supported by Antoine. Any questions or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next one is Facilities Resolution 46, which is the Elementary and Croswell Furniture Proposal.
So moved. Support.
Oh, we had Bryce and Connor support.
We like that.
Okay. Connor's fine.
Connor's fine.
All, any questions on this one? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next one is Resolution 47, which is the summer roofing repair. It's a change order to Lutz Roofing,
Motion.
supported by Rice,
Support.
moved and supported by Antoine. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next one is Superintendent Resolution 48, which is the elementary redistricting proposal.
Motion.
Moved by Young. Support by Demas. Any questions or concerns?
I just had a comment. It was really touching to hear this people who spoke today in public comment, also including our building principal of Washington. Just goes to show you that we're not just one building, we're not just isolated different, we're a community, and we do a lot of great things together, and hearing those words tonight were very touching, so thank you to everybody that spoke. We also have some students from our high school government classes. I'm really happy they got to see what we can do as a community together. Thank you.
I have a comment too. Sure. This was not an easy decision. We went around and around and around, and I'm pretty sure I talked everybody's ear off. multiple times because I wanted to truly understand the magnitude of what we're doing here. I have complete empathy for the families that want to stay at their school. 100%. We even tried to come up with some magic. It just didn't happen. It was just impossible to balance the student enrollment with Washington and Amanda Moore. I want to mention that anybody on social media that is talking about Washington Elementary and Romeo Community Schools in a negative way, you're talking about families and teachers and students. So just know that that is completely unacceptable behavior, and I fully condemn that. I'm no part of that. I haven't seen any of these comments, but from what we've heard tonight, it's been rampant. And for the record, shame on you if you've done that, because these families at Washington deserve respect, and these people that have spoke up here, they deserve everything too. So there's no difference to me between Washington, Indian Hills, and Amanda Moore. We need to be a community. If we're going to say we're a community, let's act like it. So thank you.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to one of the easiest ones, which is the presentation of the RHS graduating class of 2023. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Moved by Rice, supported by Connor. I don't think there's any questions. I would hope there's no concerns.
No.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next one is Superintendent Resolution 50, which is the 23-24 Leadership Priorities, Group 3.
Motion.
Moved by Young, supported by Demus. Any questions? Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The next one is the MISD Biennial Board Election Designation. There are 3 candidates running. So I need a motion to approve. I think, Mr. Connor, you wanted to do your motion?
Yep. I make a motion that we approve the incumbents that are running again, Brian White and Mike Schultz.
Schulte.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 incumbents?
Yes, those are 2
And
incumbents.
there is a female by the name of Tanya. She just sent an email late today, but
We should have received things in the mail about the 2 incumbents as well.
Yep. Any questions or comments, or, all right, can I have an all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Before we go into closed session, we're going in for collective bargaining and attorney-client privilege. We are not expecting to make any decisions when we come out. So I guess I would just ask the board, do we want to entertain public comment right now? I should have caught that earlier. Okay. We will move up public comment. I have Maddie Kuchenmeister.
Are we doing good of the district?
We'll do that after.
After?
Isn't it?
Okay.
Oh, I skipped. Is it okay if we do public comment first
Oh, I
and then
don't
for the
mind.
good of the
No, I'm not
district?
going
Okay.
anywhere.
Okay, thanks, good to know. Come on up. This is adults who've been awake for a very long time,
No worries.
shuffling papers.
I'm also shuffling papers.
Okay. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Maddie Kuchmeister, and I am a 2022 Romeo graduate and longtime Romeo resident. Last year, for my senior capstone project, I researched, wrote an extensive essay about, developed an informational website about, and delivered a thorough presentation on LGBTQ inclusivity in schools. As a queer person who started and finished my school career in Romeo, and as someone who knows many queer people who also attended Romeo schools, I know firsthand that Romeo is lacking in their LGBTQ advocacy and representation. I'm here today to tell you why that needs to change and how the school board and administration can help implement that change. Queer students of all ages across the country are experiencing hate and discrimination due to their gender identity or sexual orientation. Multiple studies have concluded that queer students that experience discrimination and lack of support from their school have lower academic performance and lower self-esteem on average. LGBTQ youth are more than 4 times as likely to attempt suicide than their peers. In preparation for the last school board meeting, I conducted a poll surveying queer students about their experiences at Romeo. The printouts of the results that I gave each of the board members detailed the distressing and traumatic experiences that queer students in Romeo have experienced or are currently experiencing. 16 out of 17 people that answered the survey felt that they felt or feel discriminated against while they are in school because of their sexual orientation or gender identity, and many respondents detailed the emotional, academic, and social challenges as a result of their negative experiences. Even though there is legislation being put in place across the country that demonizes and harms LGBTQ students, parents, and teachers, there are also schools and organizations that are making strides in promoting love and inclusivity. The Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network, also known as GLSEN, has many different resources to help administrators pursue inclusivity in their schools. I have today their policy recommendations that I've printed out for each of you, but I'd also like to highlight a few of their bullet points. Assess, monitor, and strengthen school climate on a regular and ongoing basis. Adopt and implement clear, consistent, and comprehensive non-discrimination policies. And as an extension of that, ensure that existing anti-bullying policies include specific protections for LGBTQ students. Ensure that professional development and educator resources include a focus on creating inclusive learning environments. And establish a welcoming and affirming environment for LGBTQ students and allies. These are not difficult steps to take. The Romeo School Board is already doing wonderful things for its students, as evidenced by recent and ongoing developments in curriculum and technology. I know that the school board can continue to build a positive learning environment for every student in the district. Thank you.
Thank you. I have Derek Lees.
Good evening. My name is Derek Lees, from Bruce Township. I have 2 students in the district, one in 8th grade, middle school, and one in 4th. I just wanted to make a general comment here. Over the past few board meetings, more and more single-sided rhetoric has been spoken, starting with this unsolicited and frankly intolerant comments of an area religious leader. In the meetings that followed, a few opposing religious leaders spoke, as well as numerous current and past members of the RCS community, and even some from outside of the community. The makeup of this audience has changed, and now even includes members of the public from outside of the radius of our district, seemingly here for effect only. I've heard speaker after speaker stating how horrible the RCS environment is and how oppressed and excluded these students feel, certain students feel. But haven't heard any specific examples, merely broad generalities that sound much more like talking points heard on TV. If any of those speakers are really concerned and really interested in positive change, rather than virtue signaling, suggest a specific change. Rather than simply complaining, be part of the solution. State what you're looking for. Do keep in mind, though, that your LGBT son, daughter, friend, or whomever is no more or less special than mine. Yours, like mine, are not owed anything. So, in those solutions, make sure that you leave just as much care and love available for my child as you want from me to care for yours. If you approach this issue in that manner, considering inclusivity for everyone, including the majority, you may find that other people in the room, as we've been referred to, are more amenable than you might imagine. Thank you.
Thank you. I have Amy. I'll let you say your last name. Oh, I should have let my fellow Greek read that. Right there.
Anargyros.
What's that?
Anargyros?
Yep. Anargyros is what he says. But his dad says it's Areopolis.
Oh. Yes, you added the accent, that's why.
My name is Amy Anardris, and when I came to the school board meeting last month, I left thinking that I needed to share some thoughts with you guys. And the funny thing is all these people from Washington
kind of already said it for me. I guess my comment is more to the effect that we are a community and we say that we're a community. I'm just wondering if there wouldn't be, if we couldn't put together like a group of moms and dads from, or guardians from each of the schools and kind of share what they're doing at each school, because I think the biggest conflict that people have, I mean, ultimately it's the parents and guardians that create the events and make them come together. The teachers are doing their job. They're doing what they're supposed to do. My son has never done anything but advance. So as far as I'm concerned, you can't go wrong with a Romeo school. My oldest graduated from Romeo. He went to Indian Hills at the time that Croswell closed. And we had, not this building, but the building that we had the meeting in was packed to the hilt with people from Croswell who did not want to be, they didn't want the school to close. My son's best friend is from that transfer. My son was at Indian Hills, and his best friend came from Croswell, and they've been inseparable. It's not a bad thing. I've done student teaching at Amanda Moore. My husband went to Washington. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you can't go wrong. The differences to me, and the things that I hear parents talk about most are the events that we put on at the schools. And it's always, well, at Indian Hills, they do this, and at Washington, they do this, and at Amanda Moore, they have a color run. We should try that, you know? And I think if we were to maybe create a group of people that are in these PTO groups, and we were able to share this information, maybe we wouldn't have that, well, that school does this, and that school does this, because we are a community, and we could all learn from each other and have a very positive environment for our kids. So, and then with the CKLA.
You're almost at 3 minutes, so
Okay.
just so you know.
With the CKLA coming, I just don't see how we can talk about the schools being different, other than the events. So I just wanted to say that, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you. To board discussion. Anybody have a comment, board discussion?
I apologize. I don't know if this is the appropriate time to say this, but I received an email from some parents about a tick problem at Hevel in the backfield, and I was just wondering, just in case audience members knew about it or heard about it, I just wanted to mention that. They sent me pictures of the little buggers, so I don't know if we spray or what we do to prevent those.
We do have a,
Mr. Storm, when's our tick prevention happening?
Wonderful. Okay, thank you very much.
Yep, we will.
So we're doing it. It's a go. Okay.
any other comments down there? No? All right. Thank you all for coming. I guess just we're going into closed session. We're not coming out to make any decisions. So with that, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is not a motion to adjourn. It is a motion to go into closed session.
Motion.
Support. And support, yes, I already skipped down. With closed session, I need a roll call, please.
Mr. Antoine is yes. Ms. Bonnick?
Yes?
Mr. Connor? Dr. Demas? Ms. Ikorst? Ms. Rice? Mr. Young?
Yes.
Awesome.